What is up, everyone? Welcome to another weekly news video. Let's jump straight into today's topics. The first video I'm going to talk to, or item I'm going to talk to, is a video put out yesterday, 24 hours before you've seen this one, relating to a group breaker stealing a downtown on camera. Now, this has been a pretty blatant scam, and it's very disappointing to see. It is the Retail King. They've apparently since been banned from Whatnot. If you're not sure what happened, you want a bit more detail, please check out my other video. I'm just going to talk to a few things here. It's been utterly unacceptable what they've done in this situation. They've basically fired a new employee that they hired to bust cards overnight for them. And again, talk to some of the issues we've seen within the breaking space that, you know, have been noted for many years now, but appear to be getting worse and worse. Whatnot makes this far too easy for them. And the fact that we continue to see this happen and not much change has been very, very disappointing to see. This guy basically, who's the owner of the company, comes out and talks to, you know, why they've sacked this guy and you should give them a second chance and how they're terribly sorry to the hobby. It's like, dude, you're a business owner, okay? You have a level of respect and responsibility to your customers that you need to maintain. You should have vetted this guy a lot better than what you did, right? And you should have had people monitoring him for at least the first few months while he was there. Now, I'm not sure if he was working there longer, but again, the blatantness of this scam was ridiculous. He literally takes it off camera and then people ask him about it and he says, yeah, I'm not going to show you that. It's just a joke. Whatnot need to do better. And like I say in my video yesterday, so please check it out. If Whatnot don't do anything about this anytime soon, Fanatics is going to wipe the floor of them when they come through with their breaking platform, right? Even if Fanatics do not mandate to people that if you want to buy from Fanatics, you need to use their platform as a breaker, you can't use Whatnot. If that's not a rule that they put in place, Whatnot are going to sink pretty fast, because I'm telling you right now, Fanatics are not going to let breakers get away with this on their platform. I'd be very shocked if Fanatics are not stipulating to breakers that you need to have multiple camera setups, you need to have certain things in place in order to use their platform. Whatnot's not currently doing that. It's not good enough. And, you know, unless they sort it out, they're going to be gone pretty quickly, in my opinion. Now, the next topic is going to be very quickly related to a vintage card scammer in the baseball space. Now, there was this article that was shared with me by Breakout Cards. Essentially, this dude who stolen some money in this specific instance here, as you can see in this article, had also scammed a lot of money out of Venezuela Topps baseball card collectors. Now, Venezuela Topps, as Breakout Cards has explained to me, is a very specific set of releases that occurred, obviously, in Venezuela. But this guy named Mike Dominic, who was pretty active in this space, and what needs to be noted here is Venezuela Topps cards are so rare, based on what, you know, I've researched since Breakout Cards and let me know what they were. They're so rare that the community is quite tight, quite small, and they're quite knowledgeable, right? As you get with any, you know, super hyper-focused niche, any collectible space, right? He's basically scammed a lot of people. And a lot of people have come out and said, you know what, you owe me money, don't deal with this guy, as this, you know, account is over here talking about this account that is also called Venezuela Topps. Talk through how he's pretty active in this space. He's basically, you know, stolen a lot of money from people. He's got big financial and legal problems. Avoid, as is also noted here, by waxing nostalgic cards. It's pretty crazy how this stuff just seems to happen. Now, I know in the modern age, transacting with multiple people and using all these different payment platforms and things like that, it's really easy to rip people off. But when you're seeing stuff like this, my message to you is going to be reach out to myself, reach out to AIH, reach out to Sports Card Radio, talk about it on Twitter, talk about it with Breakout Cards. Bring this stuff front of mind to the people that are going to be willing to highlight this, right? Because the more we talk about it, the more aware we can make people, which in turn makes what happen? It makes these scammers feel less and less inclined to try and scam people, number one. But number two, and probably the most common outcome, is they're not going to fool as many people moving forward, because more people are going to be made aware of these tricks and scams that these guys are running. So let me know if you know any more information about this guy. I'm probably going to do a more detailed video. This was very rushed, so I do apologize, but there's been more detailed video coming out, so please just bear with me and wait for that. Now, the next thing I want to talk to relates to a video I put out a couple of days ago with regards to sports card influencers lying to you. They're putting out content, making it look like they're doing certain things, having certain deals, but they're all lies, right? And I talk through the pitfalls of that and how influencers and content creators lack accountability and don't realize they have a responsibility to their viewers to not alienate them in any way, shape, or form. And there's a few more things with regards to the Great Curator that I want to talk to that I didn't get to talk to in that video, specifically around his valuation for the card he put into that pack break and why that paints a very seriously negative message to his viewers and could potentially create some pitfalls for them. And I want to talk to a little bit more of that. Now, if you weren't aware, in this video, they essentially did a pack battle on Daps's channel, Mojo Sports, Prism God, The Great Curator. The difference here with a normal pack battle is they all had to put in a card worth $1,000 to $2,000, right? Great Curator puts in that card. It's that Michael B. Jordan, Killmonger, PMG purple card. He puts it in and says it's worth $1,000 to $2,000. People watch that video and say that card's not worth anywhere near that amount. PSA 9 sold for $25. How's a PSA 10 worth $1,000 to $2,000? The Great Curator has it on his website for $2,000, and off the back of him copying all that heat, he says his whole video with Daps was a lie. It was all just for entertainment. But the reason why him saying that price point was terrible is because it paints a fake narrative, for his viewers. Had the price been a little bit closer to what the price of that card actually is, things might have been a little bit better. But by him inflating and fabricating that the value was so much higher, right? It's like a 40x multiple over the PSA 9s, which is, unheard of in this hobby. Usually it's like 3, 4, 5 times. That's utterly unacceptable. And some of you might say, well, how is that? Why is him saying that bad? He can sell the card for what it's worth, right? He can sell the card for whatever he wants. Well, think about this. There's a viewer out there that sees him talking about PMGs. They like the Great Curator, so they go out and buy some of these Killmonger PMGs because they're not that rare. You can still actually get them from Topps directly. So they buy it, buy maybe 10 of them, spend $250 getting those 10, pay all the fees to get it graded by PSA. They've then spent upwards of $500-600. No 10s come back, or they do get some 10s, but they try and sell them for $1,000 each. But the market doesn't actually think they're worth that much because they're not worth that much because they're not that rare. Which is where these people creating content that are saying these things need to be a bit more aware of the words, or the impact of their words on their viewers, I should say. He has an obligation, whether he likes it or not, to not paint pictures like that, to not paint fabrications, to not sort of, lie. And it's not an outright lie, but this narrative that this card is actually worth a lot more than what it is. And what makes it even more disappointing is when he talks about why this PMG is worth what it is. He talks about it from the sense that he asked the question to Mojo, or Mojo asked the question, he goes back to him, well, when was the last time you saw a PMG get a 10? And he says this from the perspective that, PMGs in the 90s from a sports cards perspective are very hard to grade high. But mate, you're talking about cards produced in the 90s to cards produced in the 2020s. They're not the same. Like that, the fact that that's your rationalization for pricing this where it is, even though, number one, they're completely different markets, there's completely different externalities impacting both of those markets. You're talking about completely different periods of time. People owning those cards handle them very, very differently. It's not the same thing. So the fact that that is your justification for why this is worth what it is not good enough. But your viewers don't know that. Your viewers don't know that, so they follow what you're doing. What does that then do for them? They get burned in the end. As I said in my video the other day, he could have come out and said he priced it for many, many different reasons. But the fact that it gets priced the way he says it does, and then he talks about it the way he does, and then his viewers see that and then they buy it either from him, right, because he's saying it's worth that much and they trust him, or they go out and try and chase it themselves. They're losing money. They're getting burned. And whether the Great Curator did this to deceive, that's questionable, right? I can't say for sure whether he did that or not. But what I can say is he has an obligation to his viewers to be better. And something like that is not good enough in my opinion. So please, let me know your thoughts on that down in the comments below. The very last thing I want to talk to is this pretty cool live stream from Breakout Cards. If you want to know a bit more about cricket cards, which are quite popular over here in Australia, please check out this live stream. It's only had 158 views. It dropped earlier today. It was going on, I think, just before the Sports Card Radio one. I missed it, but I've caught up to date since. It's very good, as is always the case with Ryan. So please check it out and let me know your thoughts. Leave a comment on whether or not you like cricket cards, or you think some of these are actually worth looking into and investing into, because some of these are, like you'll talk about in the video, are from the late 1800s. Pretty freaking cool. This stuff is so old that it's a piece of history. So it's a pretty cool thing to try and get into and collect. Now, I hope you liked the video. Please share your thoughts down in the comments below on any of the items. Please let me know if there's anything else you want me to talk to throughout the upcoming weeks. I'm always willing to listen to what people have to say. So if you find some hanky-panky or you find something that you want me to praise, please shout it out. I'm always here. I'll be at the Sydney Hobby Hangout while you're watching this video, actually. So send me a message on Instagram, drop a comment on my YouTube video, check in with me at the show. Hopefully I can sell some things. I don't actually have a whole lot of stock. I've got a table, so we'll see how things go, but hopefully I can make my money back. But either way, it's a bit of fun to meet a few people and see how things go. Hopefully I can find something for my PC. So as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.